Hey guys, it's Damien.
And I'm Kenady, and thank you so much for joining us today. Now, if you subscribe, make sure you comment, I subscribe, so we can give you a shout out. We've had quite a few new subscribers, so we just want to show some love. And then also to our other subscribers, we still love you, always love you. We're just grateful for the positive feedback. We just want to continue to give great feedback that's edifying and glorifying to God. So in this video, we're going to be sharing 6 reasons why you should wait until marriage to have sex. And so there's 6 benefits. There's more than that, but we're going to just discuss it.
So the first benefit is that we're not blinded by the physical. First Peter tells us that we have lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. And when we become physical too early or intimate too early, we open ourselves up to that lust of the flesh. And let's face it, when we open ourselves up, we cannot really get to know the person for who they are because we're blinded by the physical. Galatians teaches us that our flesh wars against the spirit and our spirit wars against the flesh. We need to get to know the person. You need to get to know the person. And the word for this is yada. Yada is to know. You want to get to know the person, but not in a physical way. Some ways you can get to know the person is through our communication. You don't want to be with a person who's angry and yelling all the time. Other things, there's character. The character is the moral and ethical qualities of a person. You want to get to know those things, their likes, their dislikes, their hopes, their dreams. You want to make sure that they're not too worldly in their ambition and also too carnal. You want somebody who has godly aspirations.
Yeah. Sometimes I've heard of people in the past having sexual relations with someone, and then when you remove it, you're like, I don't even like this person.
Yeah, the personality. You don't even like their personality.
Yeah, and so that's a great way, a great benefit. So number 2 is not having to worry about bacterial infections or viral infections, or also known as sexual transmitted diseases. Now, in the world, we hear of safe sex, where you're trying to still have sex without, contracting anything or, anything like that. But God wants us to have safe sex, and that means waiting until marriage to have the safe sex. And so when you save yourself, you don't have to worry about, when you're dating, about the potential of contracting a STD. And so that can be nerve-wracking and just worrisome, and you're always like, man, did I catch anything? Does he have anything, or does she have anything? And so you remove that worry and that thought process. But we do want to mention, like we mentioned in our book, #CompletelyMarried, that we encourage you to get tested before you get married. And if you've had sexual relationships in the past, because we've heard of people that waited until marriage to have sex with that partner, but then ended up transmitting sexual disease to their partner because they never got tested after previously having sexual relationships.
That's a good point.
If you've had a sexual past, make sure you're getting tested so that way the enemy cannot try and enter in through that way in your marriage.
And the thing is, Kenady, for your point, is that there's a freedom in your relationship when you're not worried about those things.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
So number 3 is less baggage if you break up. Now, let's face it, breaking up is already tough, but it becomes tougher when you have entered into intimacy with a person. And so it's hard on your soul, it's hard on your spirit. So 1 Corinthians 6:16 says, and this is the Message version, it says, there's more to sex than mere skin to skin. Sex is as much a spiritual mystery as a physical fact. We have to understand that sex creates a soul tie. And what's a soul tie? We got to look at the words tie. Tie simply means a connection or reconnection with a person. So it's an invisible connection with a person that brings you or binds you together. I love what our pastor said a couple weeks ago. Kenady talked about the STDs, but what about the STEs that we don't see? That's the sexual transmitted emotions. And when we have sex with a person, we are connected emotionally that binds us together. And this was only created for married people to hold us together. And outside of marriage, these things are still connected. And we can be past a relationship 7, 10, 15 years. But if we don't get rid of those soul ties, and we're going to have videos on this to help you get rid of the soul ties, it can affect your present relationship.
That's so good. Where do you get that from? So the fourth reason is no babies outside of wedlock. Now, I'm not saying babies are not valuable or trying to knock anyone that has had a baby outside of wedlock. We just know that God's original intent was to have a baby being born inside of a covenant marriage between a man and a woman. So that baby can be raised up in the way of the Lord and not have to deal with broken homes and abandonment or rejection issues or fatherlessness or motherlessness. And so we know that there's a lot of dysfunction and trauma that can happen when babies are born outside of wedlock. A lot of shame and guilt. And I've shared in past videos that I actually experienced becoming pregnant and miscarrying. And it was so much dysfunction from even getting pregnant the first time and also losing that baby. So when we save ourselves for marriage and not get physically intimate and not putting ourselves in situations that allows the enemy to come in our lives and bring that trauma. And so again, no shame and no guilt to anyone that has experienced that, but God's will is for us to wait until marriage so that way we can have a safe environment for babies to be born.
That's so good. Number 5, and which is my last point, is there's a blessing attached when we wait. Now, if we follow God's laws, if we follow God's commands, God always attach a blessing on that. But on the flip side of that, we are cleared of any generational curse for this particular area in our lives. That means that when we follow God's will for us to have sex inside of a marriage, we're not transmitting not just diseases, but sin to our next generation. I'm telling you guys, there's joy, there's peace, there's God's love. His favor has been on our lives because we waited until the altar.
God honors those who honor him. And so it's so worth it to wait for until marriage to honor God and as he honors you. And so the last reason that we want to talk about, but not the last reason why to wait, is just the beauty in waiting, and then when you get to the altar with your spouse, experiencing that for the first time without any shame, any guilt, any condemnation, but experiencing the pureness and that powerful sacredness of becoming intimate with your spouse and not having to worry about, are they going to leave the next day, or am I going to, have a baby outside of wedlock and someone leave me? But when we honor God and follow his ways, there's so much beauty in that, and so we can attest to that.
Yeah, so beautiful.
And so, my past wasn't perfect, and neither was his. But when we honored God, God definitely just honored us and blessed us in our sacredness.
So again, this is not to shame anybody or to bring any condemnation. We don't do that. But this is a convicting message. Now, if you are having sex outside of marriage, it's not too late to stop today. So we do have a video for you that we did in the past in our series called Order. So if you have been in that type of lifestyle, you can watch that video today and it will help you get back in order. Kenady, we forgot to talk about our guy, Mr. Anthony Hayes.
Shout out to the sweatshirt.
Got the crop. You can flip back. But thank you so much, Anthony, for giving us some merch for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also follow us on Instagram at Damien and Kenady. That's Damien and Kenady spelled out. You can visit our website at damienandkenady.com to find out everything about us. Again, my name is Damien Nash.
And I'm Kenady Nash.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.